Holy crap, we're drifting.
Day one here on my new Ari Delano Peak. I just built this thing up and I am so hyped to break it in today. And on top of that, it's snowing. A nice change of pace here, and pretty odd for southern Utah, but hey, I'll take it. It's gonna make for a fun ride. I'll be walking you through my base settings on this bike, and as I ride, I'll sort of talk through what I'm feeling, what I'm adjusting on the bike to make myself more comfortable. It should be an awesome day, so let's get into it. And here is the bike. The bike build of this will be dropping next week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. For the rear shock, we got the Bomber Air on here. I run this on so many bikes. I'm really well acquainted with the shock. 185 PSI, 0.4 volume spacer, compression's wide open, and the rebound is 3 clicks from open on there. And this is just the stock tune that comes when you buy the shock. For the fork, we got the Z1, also from Marzo, 150 mils of travel, 1 volume spacer, 76 PSI, compression all the way open, and my rebound is 3 clicks from open. So this is where we're starting. So let's go up, do a little lap, get used to these conditions, and see how it's feeling. Made it to the top, first lap of proper riding. I did 1 sight lap on the lower half just to kind of see how things were doing. Knock the cleats off, get the snow out of there from pushing up. And yeah, let's see how this goes. I'm gonna be pretty focused, I think, with the snowy conditions, so might not be very much talking. Let's get it. Oh, we're ripping. Spicy conditions. Oh my gosh. So fun. Whew, hectic day. What a time. Not every day you get conditions like these. Solid first lap there, riding at a pretty good pace. Bomber Air is feeling good, just needs a little more bottoming support. You may have heard it bottom out pretty good on one of the bigger drops on that trail. So we're gonna toss a new spacer in there, which I should have in my toolbox at the truck. And then the fork is pretty much in a perfect spot. A bit more space before the O-ring's gonna bottom out, which is right where we're wanting it. So head down to the truck, make that little change to the shock, go out for another lap. All right. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully I've got something. Shift this forward. Come on. Let's see. Nope. I think we only got the one we got in there. I think that's a 0.4. So we have the little half, so at least we can go up to that because you can stack it. So we'll stack a little 0.5 on top of the 0.4, ride that at the same pressure, and if that's not doing the trick, at least for today, I'll have to just increase my spring rate and lose a bit of top end feel. So that's what we're gonna do. I ain't got no rags or nothing with me, so doing this when it's snowing and then melting when it's hitting the bike is not ideal, but hey, we're gonna make it happen. At least the Tundi works meant for a bike stand. Okay, we're gonna try to do this quick to not get too much snow in this shock here. I haven't actually opened up this shock yet. Oh shit. Should have brought a strap wrench. I think I'm gonna have to take the front shock mount off. Woo. Nice. Turn over so M logo is visible. All right. All sorts of behavior that I wouldn't necessarily recommend right now, but hey, we're getting the job done. Pump that up and we're back in business. Also, just a little clarity on the volume spacer. So I added a 0.1 cubic inch in addition to the 0.4 cubic inch that I had in there. So we're at 0.5 total. Now I don't have any way to go more than that, but the next step in the Bomber Air volume spacer kit, I just double checked online, is a 0.6, then a 0.8, and then a full 1 inch. So those would be the next steps up. But ideally with the 0.5, we're going to be good this lap. So we'll just kind of have to check it out and see. I don't like to run too many volume spacers because then the shock can start to feel a little bit spiky. I like to use as much of the travel as possible on a regular basis for the most traction. So hopefully we're able to nail it with this setup. Pedaling up now for lap number 2. Just want to quickly explain where I got my base setup from. So for me, I've had the privilege of riding for Marzo for a while now. I think this is year 4 or 5 maybe. Anywho, I've been running the same Z1 Bomber Air for a hot minute, and I have all my suspension settings written down from every bike I've ridden all those years. So spring rate rise, I kind of know where I'm gonna be. So getting to a base setting for me isn't too challenging. It's really just, you know, riding the new bike, seeing how the kinematic and the leverage ratio is affecting the shock, and figuring out which volume spacer I need, things like this. And then, you know, how the weight distribution and cockpit setup is affecting the weight on the fork. So that's where I got my initial setup from, and that's kind of my mindset with setting up my suspension. So I know I'm obviously privileged to be in this position, but I just wanted to explain that for all you guys. So let's go have fun on the second lap. Lap 2 here, got the 0.5 spacer in. Glasses are fogging up. Let's get into it. Oh, good compression right there. Feeling a little bit more support. Oh! Holy crap, we're drifting. All right, let's get this drop. No bottom out. Woo! Definitely riding at a faster pace now. That was spicy. Sweet, feels solid. Lap number 2 thoughts. Bike is feeling pretty dang solid. Fork is still minty, just about right where I want it. To be honest, I think I just kind of had a bit of luck with the setup on that. Now with the shock, bottom out was better. There was no big clunk on the drop, so that was nice. Feeling like I could use a touch more support kind of in the mid-stroke zone. Now, given that I'm at the 22-ish sag range, I don't want to keep going up in pressure. So I think I'm going to go half closed on my low speed compression, kind of use that to keep me a little higher in the travel, see how that feels. For me, with the Bomber Air on this compression knob, so it just spins like this. So I just kind of mark from the either the soft or the firm marking on the top of the knob, sort of where the turn begins and ends. And typically I'll do it with a silver Sharpie, and then that way I can kind of get a pretty accurate midway point. So I don't have the Sharpie now, so I'm just gonna freestyle it. But for anyone who's got that shock, that's how I do it. So let's head up. Lap number 3. Snow is actually picking up a little bit here, so pretty epic day today. Here's a look at that drift from the last lap. So I come out of this right-hander, lost traction, drifted right into this chute, and then I was tripping. Lap number 3 now, half closed on the low speed compression on the Bomber Air. Everything else on the bike is the same. Conditions are wild today. Just happy to be here. So let's have a good lap. Yeah. Nice. Lap number 3 thoughts. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Closing at low speed compression to the midway point gave me a bit more support, which is exactly what I was looking for. And we're still not quite bottoming out on that drop, but we are pretty close. So I think I could go to the 0.6 volume spacer in the future. I should have one kicking around at my house, so maybe I'll test that. But this is a good base setting to start with. I'm off to Scottsdale, Arizona next week, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going there for Race Face, and I'll be riding with a bunch of media folk. So I needed to get this bike pretty well set up before I went and rode with a bunch of people. So really excited to go to Scottsdale. Never been before. And yeah, make sure you subscribe for next week's video, this Delano Peak bike build. Really looking forward to sharing that with all of you. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.